Have you ever been at a pharmacy, completely overwhelmed by the shelves filled with medications, wondering why one headache pill is called Tylenol, another says Panadol, and somewhere in small print you see something like acetaminophen? Yeah, same. It's like drugs are living double lives, one name at home, another in public, and a secret science alias nobody really talks about. Well, today we're going to uncover their true identities. Welcome to the undercover world of drug names, where every pill has at least 3 different titles. And trust me, each one has a story to tell. So let's say you've got a mild fever and some muscle aches. You go to the pharmacy and the pharmacist offers you something for it. They might say, "Would you like acetaminophen?" But on the shelf you see Tylenol, Panadol, and about 5 other options. All different names, but essentially they're the same drug. Confused? You're not alone. That's exactly why drug nomenclature exists, to bring order to what would otherwise be pharmaceutical chaos. In pharmacology, which is the study of how drugs interact with biological systems, especially in animals and humans, there's a specific system to naming these drugs. This isn't just about what sounds good in a commercial. It's about science, regulation, chemistry, and yes, a little bit of marketing too. There are 3 main types of drug names you'll hear about: the chemical name, the generic name, and the brand or trade name. Think of them like layers of identity. It's a bit like a superhero. Let's take Spider-Man as an example. His chemical name would be something ultra-scientific like genetically modified arachnid-human hybrid. His generic name is Peter Parker. And his brand name? Well, that's Spider-Man. Catchy, right? Let's start with the most technical of the bunch, the chemical name. This one is strictly for the scientists. It describes the exact molecular structure of the drug. The way atoms are arranged, the bonds, the chemical groups, everything. So for example, the chemical name for paracetamol is N,4-hydroxyphenyl acetamide, or acetyl para-aminophenol if you're feeling fancy. Not exactly something you want to shout across the pharmacy aisle. But it's important because that's how scientists ensure that everyone is literally talking about the same molecule down to the atom. Next, we have the generic name, also known as the non-proprietary or approved name. This is where things start getting a little more practical. The generic name is assigned by regulatory bodies like the FDA in the US, or international committees that make sure we don't end up with 1,000 different names for the same drug. These names are simpler than the chemical ones, but still not designed to be super marketable. They're kind of like the official passport name of the drug. For example, acetaminophen is the generic name in the US for the same compound that's known as paracetamol in many other countries. Or take aluminum hydroxide, a common antacid, easy enough to remember, but still distinct from any brand name you'll see on packaging. What's cool about generic names is that they're not owned by anyone. They're free to use by any manufacturer, which keeps the market open and competition healthy. It also means that no matter who makes the drug, doctors and pharmacists can refer to it by one consistent name. Now, let's talk about the fun, flashy one, the brand or trade name. This is where companies get creative. Once a pharmaceutical company develops a new drug and gets it approved, they usually give it a trademarked name that's easier to market. These names are catchy, memorable, and sometimes even a little poetic, like Zyrtec for an allergy medication or Lipitor for a cholesterol drug. These names are legally protected, which means no other company can use the same name for a similar product. But here's the twist. One single generic drug can have dozens of different brand names. Let's go back to our old friend acetaminophen. It's sold under names like Tylenol, Panadol, Mapap, Capol, and more. Same drug, different packages, different prices, and sometimes even different formulations, like liquid versus tablet. But the core ingredient is exactly the same. It's like seeing the same actor play different roles in different movies. Still them, just in a new costume. Now, here's something important to know, especially if you're studying pharmacology or working in healthcare. Pharmacists usually aren't allowed to switch out brand name drugs for other brands without approval, even if the chemical composition is identical. That's because brand names are tied to specific manufacturers, and different countries have different rules about what can be substituted and when. It all comes down to regulation, patient safety, and yes, sometimes insurance policies. So the next time you pick up a drug, take a moment to look at the label. That long technical name you usually skip? That's the generic name. And somewhere, hidden in even tinier print, might be the chemical name. Meanwhile, front and center is the brand name, the one that grabs your attention, maybe even reassures you because it's the one you've always used. Drug nomenclature might seem like an overwhelming system at first, but it's actually there to make life easier. for doctors, pharmacists, patients, and even regulators. It ensures consistency, safety, and trust in a field where a single mistake in identity could mean the difference between help and harm. So whether you're diving into pharmacology for a class, prepping for an exam, or just trying to make sense of your medicine cabinet, remember, every drug has a story, and its name is the first chapter. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this dive into the science behind drug names, give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more clear, useful breakdowns of complex health topics.